Hi everyone, welcome to Data Decision. In today's video, we're going to be creating this very dashboard playing right on your screen. So I'm going to show you every single thing you need to put together to have a very nice sales report or dashboard created inside Microsoft Excel. It is something very simple, straightforward, easy to follow. I'm going to show you how to actually use AI to assist you to actually get things done that you might not even know how to do. These days, it's very easy to create reports and dashboard in any tools at all. And that is what I do here on this particular channel. If this is your first time, you might want to try to actually follow me step by step as I show you how to actually, bring insight from data. It is something very easy. The very first thing you have to do is to grab the data I've actually used in this particular dashboard and follow me step by step. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and hit the like button as well. If you have just downloaded the resources file and you have it opened, please, this is where you have to actually start from. This particular, worksheet called business case. So try to read the background, the problem, your own role, and the audience that is going to actually use this report. Those are the main part you have to look at, right? So after we have done that, you have to take a look at the data dictionary to understand every columns and rows in all our data sheets. Now, it is time for you to take a look at our KPI here. So here we have our KPI. So right away, we're going to be creating this particular KPI right in here. Let me actually make it stand out with a green color, or let me use a red color. So we are creating this particular KPI card right now, which is going to be the discount rate and average days here. Those two are very important. And we're going to create another one, but it's not here. It's going to be the transaction, which is very, very important as well. So we're going to create for transaction. Okay, those are the three KPIs we want to have, and they are very easy. After we have known the KPIs we want to actually add, the next thing we have to look at is the business question. If you look at those particular four highlighted, rows in red, they are those particular ones that we have solved in the previous, video. And I said, if you don't want to watch it, it's not a problem. You can actually start from this one because this one is standalone from that particular one. So here we go. This is exactly what we have created previously before now. Can you see now? Very simple, very easy, clean, and professional. And if you think you want to learn this, please go ahead and do that. So now, if you look at everything we have right in here, it was actually carved from those red highlighted, rows right in here. And today we're going to be working on these particular yellow ones right here. They are very simple, very easy, straightforward. Read through it, and if need be, pause it and try it all by yourself. And if you can't get any one of them, please come back to my video and watch and tell me thank you. So let us get into action right now. The very first thing we have to do is to look at the data we're going to use, which is going to be this particular sales clean reference here. This is our main data right in here. So once we have known the data we're going to use right now, it is time for me to actually create our analysis. So I'm going to create a sheet here. So this worksheet will carry all the pivot table and calculation. So what do? I go straight up to this particular part and I click on the clean reference. I create my first pivot table, go into insert, and I'm going to go to insert, and I use the existing worksheet because I already have a worksheet inserted. So going straight up to the analysis sheet here, I can drop it right in here and click on OK. So now, if you remembered, I told us that we have, three KPIs to create. The first one is actually the transaction. And for transaction, it's always easy. You can drag any column of your choice into the value area and it will default to what? To count. If you look at the pivot table we have inserted, it's giving us count of order ID. This is not actually cool. To make sure you reveal exactly the column we brought in here, we can actually click on this, then go to design, come over here and click on showing tabular form. Okay, I think it's already showing it as well. Okay, now we don't want to see count. Just double click on it right now and just type in transaction, then click on OK. So you can format this by going over to the top ribbon, click on home, then comma separator, take off the extra decimal number you have right in it. This is the first thing you have to do. Now, our second KPI right now, we have to copy this, drop it over here, and copy on that one and drop it over here. So let me show you what is going to come in here. Double click on it right now and turn this one to AVG for average discount. Then on this particular one, we're going to type in here AVG, average delivery days. So you get it right now. This is what we have. Okay, now we're going to click on this one and take off what we have in here. Just, okay, if I just go ahead and just say, okay, now it will wipe off what we have in here. This is one of the, side effect of having pivot table beneath another one. If that pivot table collapses, it will destroy the analysis you have beneath it. So I'm going to move this one to this particular part. Then I can now click over here now and take off this one without encountering any issue. So with this right now, the name is gone. So don't worry, we can bring it back by going over to discounts. If you want to understand what you're doing, please come over to this particular part. Let me show you. Over here, we have two discount columns. Let me just walk you through it over here. The first discount we have is a discount percentage over here, followed by the actual discount value in normal currency. So we have the percentages and we have the values over here. So now we're going to use the percentages, not the value, and we're going to get the average. So to get that done now, this is what we have to do. I'm going to shift this one closer to my analysis so that anytime I need it, I can always get it. Okay, now here we go. So we're looking for the discount one. We just have to scroll through and we'll get this one here. So now, with this now, we need an average. This is giving us just a sum, which does not make any sense. What I need to do right now is to right click over it. I'm going to show this particular value field settings here. Now, while we are here, we locate the average. Here's the average. We click on OK. Now it's giving us 0, right? No problem. So let us go over to here and one decimal number. Come over here and search for percentage. If you can't find it over here, it's a problem. So here we have it. So here we have the percentage. First of all, convert to what? Convert it to average. Then after that, you have to make sure you do what? You convert it into a percentage, and it gives you 7.1. You can take off one decimal number from it and you have 7.7. Okay, now time to get this one done right in here. So now we are going to do average delivery days. We have to quickly know the column we're going to use. Then we locate this particular column here called the average. Can you see it now? This particular column here is the actual average delivery days, rather the delivery days right in here. So we want to get what is the average delivery days of this particular business. To get that done now, go back to analysis and we actually take off this particular one. And if you can't get what you're looking for quickly, just do delivery by searching for it. So here we go, we have this, and we can just do the same exact thing we have done previously. So over here, click and we choose the average, and here you go. So now we can add one decimal number. You see it now. So I'm not going to use something like this. It wouldn't make sense if I just say 7.4. What I'm going to do right now is just to do equal sign right in here, and I do the text function. Okay, maybe your question now will be like, why are we using the text function? Okay, you might not understand that. We're going to use the text function later. I'll just do a reference of this particular one here. Do this and put space, then this. Then if I hit my enter key, this is what I have. I have a very huge number after 7 with long decimal number. So what are we supposed to do? We have to make sure we actually format it. But this time around, if I click over here, you can see this one is active. But when I click over here right now, can you see? It's not working. This is not working on it because it's actually a text. Like number mixing up with text is 100% text. So what you can do right now is to click over it and come over here and use the text function. The text function helps you to actually format it. Put a comma, and inside double quote, you put 0.0. Then you close and you hit your enter key. Now you have something that looks like this. Can you see it right now? So our 3 KPIs are completed right now. So it is time for you to start creating our dashboard. So if you go over to the previous dashboard here, we have these layers of shapes. It's very easy. Let me show you how I got it created. Over here, I have already got it duplicated. And here you go. This is this one. So different shapes stacked, and we change the colors. So this one is deep black, and this one not too dark. This one white. This one here. If I click over here and I go over to this particular part right now, you can see what I'm using. I'm using this particular white with just 15% right on it. As of this particular one here, if I do Control 1 right now, and I show you the fill color, then I'm using this one. Then to get this particular color, if I click over here, I'm using this particular color here. Can you see it now? This very one. Then if I click on this particular one, I think I'm using okay, not white. I think white is 5% darker. That's what I'm using. Can you see it now? Now you have gotten everything. So just make sure you stack it just like this. So it's just a design. This particular top part here is a design. Then the next one is going to be this particular one. We actually selected from insert, we go over to illustrations, we click on shapes, and I picked up this particular rounded one and actually, make it sit right. And I have this particular space for my slicer and my dashboard title. That is all we have done, right? So right away, what we can do now is to bring in our KPIs. Very easy. Go to the top ribbon here. You can get this particular rounded corner here and drag this over here. Keep something here like this. So once this is here, I'm going to Control 1. So with my Control 1, I can actually select white color. So white color. Then the rounded corner shouldn't be too much. I'm just going to have a little rounded corner. Then for the line, I want to actually make sure I change the line's color to something, let's go with something like this. Then it's too thin. I just want to go over the weight and increase the weight to 2 points. So you can decide to change your mind on the color. Let's go with this particular one. Nicely done. I love this. So I'm going to duplicate this one and keep it right in here. So create another duplicate of it. I have the 3 right here. So what I'm going to do right now is to just make sure I move this over here. Then hold my Control key to select 3 of them and go to the top ribbon. Then go over to align. Then align to the top and go over here and distribute horizontally. Now, this is a nice spacing right in here. So if I click on this one now, I want to change the color. Then I change the color to, no, not this. We're choosing this particular line color here. Let's go with the line color, choosing a deeper color. Something like this looks cool. Then this one, I'm going to choose a dark color for it. Okay, nicely done. So if you think the colors are too bright, what you can do is to actually decide on the percentage you want to put it right in here. Let's go with 40% and see. So over here, you have to do the consistent, transparency, 40 as well. Then over here, we do 40. So interesting. I love what I'm seeing right now. So we are almost done with it. It is time for me to bring in the title. As you can see, I have gotten the titles right on it. So I'm going to actually do this. I'll just drag it down. Once dragged down, we have to go and pick up the value for transaction. So turn on your formula bar. If it is not active, go to formula bar here and bring the value in. So here is transaction. You bring in the transaction value. You do the same exact thing for discount, average discount here. Do the same thing for this particular one as well. This one in days. So once I've gotten this now, it's time for me to actually make sure we do this. Let's go straight up to here and increase the values. You can decide to change the fonts you are using. It's all your choice if you wanna do that. So I'm gonna make it bold. No, let me just keep it normal flat value. Okay, once I've done this now, what I'm going to do is just to make sure I click on this particular format painter, apply this over here. So I want to make sure I align this to be in line with this particular one, be in line. So hold my Control key to select all of the values, go over here and just say align to the bottom. It depends on how it goes. You might not use the same exact thing I'm using. You just need to use your eyes to gauge it to see everything you are doing. Okay, now we want to match these particular colors to their actual, this thing, edge color on the card. So I'm going to choose this very one here. I think this one should be this very one here. On this one, I'm going to choose this particular one much more deeper. Okay, I think I want to go with something like this. Then on this particular one, I'm going to leave it at black, but too dark, I'll choose to go with something much more calm. So now we have this. It is not giving us something very nice. So what do we do right now? We have to make sure we add some couple of icons. Very easy. Go to the top ribbon here. Go to Insert, and now Illustrations, then click on Icons. Behind the scene, I have just added some couple of icons right in it. If you can't get your icons from here, specifically if you don't have this or you don't like the icons we have inside the icons here, go to flaticon.com on Google and actually pick any icons of your choice and use it right in here. Okay, right now we are going to copy this pivot table or any of the pivot tables we have right in here. Then let's go ahead and paste it down right here. So I always love to do something like this. I'll just highlight a column, then come over here. I'll go straight up to this particular home part, then pick any color of my choice. I'm going to divide it, which means this particular area is known as KPIs. That is all. So over here, we're going to actually do a different analysis entirely. So we have here this average. I'm going to take it off. I just have the pivot table right now. So what do we want to show right in here? So let us drag in our category into this particular part. Before then, we have to quickly go back to somewhere important, which is the business question over here. Over here, look at this. It says how much revenue is being sacrificed through discount. Can you see it now? So discount amount and profit margin by category. That is the recommendation, right? So how can we do this? You have understood the question right now. What can we do to actually bring this to life? So we get back straight up to our analysis environment here. So we have brought in the category. The next thing we have to bring in right now is actually the discount amount. So which is this particular one? So I'm going to bring in the revenue as well. Even though if you're not going to need to use the revenue, then I don't want to bring in the profit margin because the profit margin will just give us rubbish. You understand? But let us bring in the profit margin. But before the profit margin, I'm going to bring in my actual profit, then profit margin. So this particular profit margin here should have been a percentage. Right now it's a normal value, right? So if I go straight up to the top and convert to percentage right now, we have this particular huge percentages. So what do we do to make sure it gives us something, nice that we can work with? We don't have this one hidden right now. You can right click and go to this particular part here. Maybe you just average it. So despite the average, what if I actually, told you that this is wrong? I mean, this is not correct. Yes, of course. Let us prove it. To prove it right now, we come over here, we put our equal sign, and we'll get this particular profit over here and divide it by the revenue. Then once we hit our enter key, we can actually go ahead and copy this down. Then we go straight up to this particular part and we convert to percentage. Can you see it now? This is the actual percentage, the profit margin. This one is incorrect. So when we come over to this particular clean reference here, this particular one here is actually correct line by line, which simply means if you divide this particular number by this particular number here, it gives you this is correct. But when it comes to, dragging it into a pivot table, what pivot table does is to actually aggregate the value, summing it up together and return something. To even make sense with it a little bit, you have to make sure you average it, which is still not correct. So right now we have to remove this. We don't need this particular one over here. Do we even need to do that? Okay, I can leave it that way. So what I need to do right now is to create what I need in my chart. So I'm going to actually reference this particular part down. So after doing that, I'm going to reference this particular discount part. And after doing that, I'm going to actually do profit margin. So we reference this particular part. So we have all we want. Why? Oh, sorry. Not up to this particular grand total, please. So do the same reference again, but stop here. Don't include the 20.3%. So here we go, we have this. Quickly, we have to make sure we convert this into a percentage. Nicely done. Then over here, we have to make sure we highlight and we just do comma separator, or we choose to use the currency number formatting for it. Now we come over here, highlight it, Control H, then sum of, replace with nothing. Now we have the actual names. Can you see how simple and easy this could be? So I believe you might have not thought of this, and now we have something that is reasonable. So what we need to do right now is to select this. Once selected, go to the top ribbon, click on Insert. So if you're not good at chart selection, what do? Choose recommended chart over here. And 100%, it got it right. Yes, this is the actual chart you have to use to actually get this done. So go ahead and actually click on OK. Now we have our first chart straight up to our dashboard environment. But before then, let us rename this particular part to something that is reasonable. So now we have this, Ctrl X to cut it, take it to my dashboard environment, paste it down, and here we go. I love formatting my dashboards on the go. So what I'm going to do right now is to click on either of these particular cards here, bring it over here, Control 1, then let's go straight up to here. Even if you want to have an outline on it, let the outline be. Something like this looks perfectly okay, but I just want to make sure I just use 1 point, not 1.5, 1 point. It looks very light. So right now, I can decide to go with this one. Then click over here. It's going behind, right click and bring to front. Now we'll take it and actually have it right in here. Stretch it. So no fill, no line. Then we'll take off these grid lines. Click over here and no grid lines. Sorry, this one here. The legend should be moved to the bottom. Okay, you have this. So if I go to my previous dashboard, you can see how it looks. So those colors should be adopted. I'm going to show you the exact color I'm using for my dashboard. I'm going to click on this color to reveal the color. Go over here, click on more colors, and here you go. You can copy this same color. Red for 33, green for 95, and blue for 159. Or you can actually copy the hex code from here. Okay, once we are here now, I click on this particular one. I go straight up to this particular part here. I click on more colors. You can paste it in here. And you see, it reflects the exact RGB that we have here. Then I'm going to click on OK. So I would love to leave my profit the way it is. I love it that way. It's not bad. Just leave it the way it is. So we have just achieved this very one here. So what I don't like is the rounded corner I have on this. I'm going to take it off a little bit. And I still have a little rounded corner on it. Then we bring this down. So something very much more important is going to be here. This time around, I'm going to actually have my view, then formula bar heading. I'll bring this one down here. So to make sure you have this properly aligned, you can first of all move it over here. Once you have done that, hold your control key and select both of them. Go to the top ribbon, go to shape format, and go to align, and align this one to the right hand corner. You see that right now. So properly aligned. This is what you can actually do. So what is next? All right. I think right now we are done with this particular one. Let me highlight it in red. I think I'm going to put it back on white, but I'm going to change this one to red. Then the next thing I'm going to do right now, which customer generated the highest profit? Let us go for this particular one right now. So I'm going to highlight it as well. So this is the next one we're going to actually be dealing with. So where it says which payment method dominates each branch. Okay, this is tricky. Over here it says transaction count and revenue by payment method, and we should use 100% stacked column chart. All right, let us fire on. Go over to analysis, Right now, we can use the existing pivot table. Just copy from here, move and paste this over here. Don't forget what I love. I always love to create a bridge between them. Okay, this shows a different analysis entirely. So what I'm going to do here now is simple. Let's quickly go to our sales claim, and we look at this particular path. We have what we call payment method here. This one, payment method. Then I want to go back and understand the question again, because it takes time for you to digest this. You just have to be very careful with this. Which payment method determines each, dominate rather, each category? So the hint here says transaction count and revenue by payment. So what we can do right now is to make sure we show it in percentage. I know what to do. Let's get back. So getting back here right now, I can quickly go straight up to this particular part, right click and show the field setting, the field list rather. And once I have this right now, I'm going to take off this particular one from here, and you locate the payment method and bring in the payment method in here. So with the payment method here right now, we have to bring in the actual revenue generated by each payment method and the transaction. So drag any column. You can even drag the same exact payment method into it, and it will give you a count. So can you see a count? This is numbers of transaction. So any one, you can just go to this particular order ID and drag it in here to give you the same exact value. So what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I do Ctrl H over here, replace, and on this particular one, I'm just going to type in transaction. So we have this. Okay, this one can go ahead and sleep. You see that now? Okay, let's see. Over here, I want to have transaction, and right in here, I'm going to have revenue. This is what we can do to develop what we want. So once I've done that right now, I want to transpose this particular part. Is it simple? Let's do that. I will do equals. First of all, before that, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. This is the first cell, second, the first cell, second, third, and fourth. Once I've done this right now, I think it should have been here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Type in your equals, transpose. Then reference this particular part. It's an array. Just close it. Before you hit the enter key, you have to hold your control key. Hold your control key. Enter. Spill. That means you clicked on the wrong one. Let's do it again. It has been long I used this, but it's easy. So transpose again. You select this area you want to transpose. You close, shift, enter. Okay, I got it right now. This is what we have. So over here, we type in payment method. So now we want to do something over here. What do we do? First of all, let us calculate something from this particular part. So we want to calculate the percentage of transaction against the grand total, which is this. So just put here percentage trans for transaction. We put equals over here. We take this particular transaction now, divide by this very value here. So because we want to copy down, we don't want this one to shift, we just do F4 key to lock it down. If you look at it right now, I have $sign surrounding my U, which is this column U over here. Hit your enter key and go straight up to this particular part, copy down, Ctrl 1 to convert into a percentage like this, maybe with 1 decimal number. So here you go, you have this. So we're going to do for this. So this one too, we go for percentage revenue in a short form. So we pick up this value here, divide by the grand total, F4 key to lock it down. If you look at it, my T is surrounded by $sign because we're sitting in column T. That was where we picked something from. Hit the enter key again. We copy this down. We Ctrl 1 we do percentage with just one decimal number. So here we go. I don't want to have this. We have this right in here. Okay, now we have our calculation ready. So how do we distribute this? For transaction now, it is time to work with this. I think it's easy. What you need to do is to get for card for transaction, you pick this, you put your equal sign. For cash, you pick this, put in the equal sign right in here, you pick this for POS, and for transfer, you pick this value right in here. Then you actually do the same thing for revenue. You pick this for card, then you pick this for cash. For POS, you go ahead and actually pick this, followed by the transaction, you pick this. Can you see what we have done now? Interesting. Okay, what I want to do right away is just to make sure I just bring this down. Then I'll select this particular one. I don't want to bring it down. I'll hold my control key. I'll say plus sign. I'll drag it and release it. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, because we used transpose, right? So it's not working. So what I'm going to do right now is just to do that and bring this particular payment method over here. Can you see payment method over here? And right in here, I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and paste it over here. Then I have this. I'm still contemplating. Is what I'm doing now right? No, I'm going to Control Z. Pardon me for that thing I did. So I have returned it back to what it were before. So right now it is time for you to create our chart with this. All I have to do is to actually just select all of them, go to the top ribbon, go to insert, then we click over here and we start looking for a chart that will help us. Can you see? If you're not good at chart, what do? You select this. So right now it's giving us the wrong chart. Now, what do we do to have the actual chart? Sometimes the recommended chart does not help you. What helps you is to know the exact chart you want to use. That is why you have to study charts. Let's go to all, and now we're going to click on this one. Not this one any longer, this one. So once we click here, go over to here where it says 100% stacked bar chart. Then right now, don't use this one. Come over here and choose this particular one. So click on it and click on OK. Now we have this. Can you see what we have just done? Interesting. So we can cut this away from here and take it to a dashboard environment, paste it down, bring it over here. So right now, make sure yours is from 0 to 100. That is exactly what you want. From 0 to 100. That is what you want. So for the colors now, you can just click over here and choose any color of your choice from here. If you feel like there are so many colors here, if you feel like you want any of them, just make sure you pick any of them. So I'm going to go with this particular one here, and automatically it adds the data label for me. I love it. So do you want to choose going over making the legend to be above? I think your answer should be no. If you say yes, that means you don't study how to create good dashboards. So our previous legend was at the bottom. So this one must follow the consistency. So go straight up to legend area here and push this to the bottom as well. Now for title, we want to change our title. I just added the title, and as you can see, the title is on uppercase, and that was because of the template I actually picked from the design over here. So for that, we can't go with this. We have to delete that particular title, then create our own title. Grab the previous title you have right in here and bring it over here and create your title from it. So here you go, you have this. Make sure you turn off the red line that you have right in it. So one thing I don't like about this is this particular part right in here. I want to change the color to match my dashboard. So just make sure you use a cool color. So I'm going to just go over here. On this one, I'm going to choose another color. Something like this looks better for me. All right. Right now we're going to be doing which supplier have long delivery times and understocked products. So it's very simple. Over here, we look at the hint, which is recommended in the analysis, where it says average delivery days plus inventory status. That is the columns we need to use. And over here, it's telling us to do supplier risk table. It's easy. Let me walk you through it. So go back to analysis, and previously before now, I have created this particular table right in here. So where I dragged my supplier into the row and the inventory status into the column. So once you have done this, the question is this: what is next? So the next thing we have to do right now is to drag any column at all and default it to count. So which simply means we're looking at their transactions. So I always love to drag in my order ID, and that gives me a count. Once I have this count here, we can start our calculation now. Have this hidden. So leave the grand total here is very healthy. We need it. So the very first thing we have to calculate is going to be the average delivery days for all those transactions that happened. So just type in AVG delivery. So how do we go by this one here? We need to use a function called average ifs. So with the average ifs, we have to go over to here and average our delivery days, which is this particular one here, this very one here. Can you see it? Just highlight it. So once you put your comma there, it's asking for criteria. So our criteria right now will be our supplier, which is this very one, close to it, our supplier. Now putting a comma, that is the criteria range. So the criteria now is that where can we find this particular supplier individually? We go back to analysis and we pick this very one here. Then hit your enter key. You have this. I believe this is well understood. Once you have this here, let's go to the top, go over here and choose to reduce the decimal number. Can you see it now? Very simple. I hope it's not hard. It's something very easy. Okay, now we have grand total and we have understocked. So what we need to do now is to do equals, sorry, not equals, just do a percentage here, understocked. And over here now, we're going to take this understocked divided by what? By the actual percentage. Then hit the enter key and go ahead and drag this down. Go to the top, ribbon, then you convert it into something like this. You can do this. This is what we have. In conclusion, this is exactly what we are looking forward to, creating. Then we're going to create a table with this. We don't need everything from here. Now I'm going to create a different worksheet. Then over here on this particular worksheet, I'm going to put my equal sign here, reference this particular from supplier down to here, hit enter key. Then come over here and do average delivery days. Over here we do percentage understocked. Then finally, we should have done understocked here. We just want to show the understocked. Then next again is for we to show the actual percentage. You can actually go ahead and do Ctrl Shift plus. So that will push this one and give us something blank here. So this is what we have. Now we have to get the values. The average this equals, then we bring all of this Then over here, we go straight up to this particular part. We bring all of this. So over here, we reference the actual percentage, which is this particular one. We hit the enter key. So right now, we format it into a percentage. So if you want decimal number, you can add it. I'm going to leave it that way. So this one, we need the comma separator for it. Very important. So we don't want any decimal number. We take it off. So over here, we remove the long decimal number. I'm going to be left with 1. So can you see? That's been compressed. So right now, this is good. I'm going to just make sure I highlight and Ctrl B to bold it, and come over here to just pave the way for it to show up very well. Highlight this particular part, double click, it will fit this to, the column to show everything right in here. So once I've done this right now, the next thing I'm going to do is just to highlight this particular part here, and I will do this. So for a test, we just have to make sure we go straight up to the top ribbon and turn off the grid lines. We can just go ahead and highlight, Ctrl C to copy. Then we'll go over here and we make sure we select an empty cell that is visible to us. Then you right click on it and come over here and you choose to go to this particular link picture. Once you've done that, we bring this over here. Okay, that is better. That is better. So we still have more space here, which means we can still utilize this now. So what I'm going to do now is to go straight up to analysis. Sorry, this particular part here. I can name this particular part table. So we are going to increase the size just by 12. Once that is done, we have to open it up to show everything up here. Then I'm going to just go ahead and do this. So now if we come over here, it will not affect this initially. So we have to delete this away from here. So keep trying to test it out to see if it fits into what you want. That is good. If it doesn't, just, touch it over and over again until you get what you want. So we take it again, go over here. I select an empty cell, I right click and I grab this. So here we go. Now this is what I want. So once I've gotten what I wanted to have, I'm going to delete it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to grab this particular part here. Check out the space I have right in it. So it's very important. So right now I'm going to just fill it all the way down. So this time around now, we're going to fill this particular KPI card to fill it up to this level. This part here is for something very important. So we're going to go back now and start formatting this. First of all, select this particular one. So go over to the top ribbon, go to home and click on conditional formatting. There are several formattings that we have right in here. So choose whichever one you want to have on it. So I'm going to choose this particular one from green color scale. So here we go. No, this is not cool. Ctrl Z. Any value that is actually 0 should give us red. So we go by. Unfortunately, we can't see that. What we can do right now. Yeah. Let's do it again. So can you see it now? This is what we want to use, right? So over here, you can select and you can actually add another conditional formatting to this particular one if you choose to actually add it. But it will not look very better to me. I just don't want to add it because to be competing with this particular one. So once I've gotten this right now, I'm going to select this particular header, go over here and choose to go straight up to this particular part and choose this particular one. Something like this, very light. Then select everything, Ctrl 1, go over to border. So you choose to go for something light and we choose this very one and click on OK. So can you see? So now we can copy this one now. It's ready. Ctrl C to copy. We'll go over here right click, and we select. There is one thing we didn't put into account, that is going to be the title. So for that, we have to go and work on that. So let me show you everything. So coming over here now, we highlight this particular part, we just reduce it. So going over here now, we can delete this one and make sure there's a selection from here. Okay, we have gotten what we wanted. So what I'm going to do right now is that I have grouped this. Just make sure you select every single thing and actually move this particular one to the edge here. Once you've moved it to the edge, hold your control key to select all of them and go straight up to here. Okay, now you have something like this. So we just have one more chart to go. So the last one we have here now says which customer type generates the highest profit. So let me color it. Which customer type generates the highest profit? It's easy. Let's find out how easy it is right now. So we come over here, and the very first thing we do is to always get this particular margin created. Interesting. So we copy the pivot table from here, and we paste our pivot table right in here. So next is for we to go straight up to, oh no, this is not pivot table. So there was a mistake somewhere. What happened? If you want to copy pivot table, you have to make sure every single element in the pivot table is being selected. Otherwise, it will copy as a text, a static text. So we paste over here now, so we can remove everything we have right in it, down to the supplier, then this very one, and now we're good to go. Okay, to understand the question better, we have to go all the way back again, and which customer type generates the highest profit? Over here it says revenue, profit, and average order value by customer type, a bar chart. Oh my goodness, a lot of information. So how do we actually split this into it and make sure it makes sense? Okay, let's find out together. So coming over here now, we have to select customer type, which is this particular one now. What we need to actually have this created right now is simple. If you have been following up, you would have known what it is. So we bring in our net revenue, we bring in our profit, and we get a count of each order. Can you see? Here we go. So Control H, we just type some off and we replace, we have something as clean as this, type in transaction. So click on OK. So here we go, we have this. So the very first calculation we want to calculate now is our average. So average order value. O as in AOV is average order value, followed by profit margin. Okay, let us deal with this one first. To calculate our average order value, we take this particular revenue and divide it by total transaction. This gives us the average. Can you see how easy it is? So we just do comma separator. So here you go, you have the average. Next again is going to be the profit margin here. So do I get it right? Think. Do I get it right? If you have been following up, you would have known that yes, this is exactly how to calculate the profit margin. Don't use the default one you have. Convert to percentage. So this is what we have right now. Okay, we have gotten this done now. What is next? Big question. What is next? So how do we convert this into a chart? So quickly, I'm going to come over here and select this customer type. Then next again, what I'm going to do is going to be me bringing up my revenue and my profit over here. So after I might have brought it in there, I'll highlight and go over to insert. Then I told you, if you're not too good at, selecting the best chart, always use this. But this time around, it got it right, but not exactly what I want. Because of my space, I just want to make sure I go for something different. I'll go for something that looks like this one. Click on OK. Then take off this axis, leave this one at the bottom, then take off the grid line, and over here, we type in the title. So you can see, this is it. OAV here means average order value. Get that right. So you want to add the number formatting, data label rather. So here you go, you have it in. So which simply means we have to properly format our values very well. So no decimal number. Now here you go, Control X over here, Control V to paste. We bring it in here. So we have to first of all get this, bring this down, right click to bring to front. So Control 1, I'm going to just make this. So our profit should actually match the profit we have right in here as well. Then we click on this particular one and change its color. So click on it. You can select the position you want to have on it. So come over here. Try different position. That will work for you. So there are several positions you can try. So I'll choose to use a different one. Shorten it like this for a reason. So what I'm going to do next now is to go over to the top ribbon, insert in your shapes on this one. Select this particular area and drag this up to this level here. Once done, say no line. Over here, select something light. I'll look like this. So select this particular one and just remove the fill and the outline first. Now you bring this one to make sure it looks like this. Just take your time to work on this. So once I've done this now, I'll make sure I highlight the main chart like this, and I'll bring the chart to front. Bring to front. So this is how it looks. You get it right now. So once it looks like this, I can change the color of this one to white, and let's see what we have. Okay, this pop out very well, but not in every one of it. So once I have this right now, I'll go over to the top and get a circle. Hold your shift key to drop a perfect circle right in here. I'll just keep this over here. So once I've done this, I'll go over to here and change the color. So no, not this. Over the fill color, I'll change the color to this. I'll duplicate it for this one, and again for this very one. So once I've done that, I'll pick up this over here. Let's get this. So we type average in short form, order values. I'll change the color. I'll resize it to make it smaller. Once you have this now, we can duplicate it again and make it smaller. This time around, we'll keep this over here. We'll give an equal sign by going over to the top, go to view, formula bar, we put an equal sign over here, go straight up to this particular analysis part right in here. And we pick up this average for corporate. Oh, sorry, we are using the wrong one. Sorry for that. So we go back again. Is it corporate? Walk in. Yeah, I think it's walk in. So pick for walk in. We get this over here. We pick for members. So we pick for corporate now. So we can select all of them and go to the top ribbon. We go over to home. From home, this align to the left hand corner. So once you have done that, I want to match it up with the color we have right in here. So you can just make it a little bit bigger. So here we go. We have this. Properly align them. This is what we have right in here. Can you see it now? Interesting. All right. We have done every single thing that is listed over the business question here. If you want me to continue to solve the remaining ones here, please, let me know in the comment. If you're still watching, just tell me continue, and I'll definitely continue this. So right now, what is left is to actually, add some couple of insight and recommendation over here, which simply means we can grab this and keep it right to this particular spot. And bring this down here. I can decide to change the color of this one now to a different color. Then let's go to the top ribbon and okay, it's hidden already. So we'll fit it in. So this is exactly what we're going to have. So this is where we're going to have our insight and recommendation right in. This is where we actually ask AI a question. And this particular AI is not anything sitting outside. It is something that is sitting inside our Excel. Let's go to this particular part, click on Home and click on Claude. That simply means you already have Claude. So I'm so sorry if you don't have Claude already. In my previous videos on this same dashboard, I have shown you how to use GPT, even for free to get this done. Please make sure you watch that. So right in here right now, what I'm going to do for the first time is to go ahead and take a screenshot of this whole dashboard. That is Windows key Shift and S will help me to take a screenshot of the whole dashboard. Although, even though if I don't take a screenshot, Claude can still see it. So just go over here. And before I paste it in, I want to record my prompt. I have just pasted a screenshot of my dashboard for you, and I want you to take a look at it. It is sitting in the worksheet called Dashboard 2, and the analysis that powers it is inside the analysis worksheet. So what I want to do right now is that I want you to look at every single KPI, charts, and everything in the dashboard and write a better insight and recommendations for the management. I don't want something too bulky, but make sure it is something that the management wants to see and make decision with the data. So you're going to have recommendation on its own and insight on its own as well, separately. So make sure you create that inside the analysis sheet. In this particular cell I selected on column AN cell 25. Yeah, row 25. So go ahead and create. So once you have done that, paste in the screenshot and allow the screenshot to be accepted first. Yes, once you hover over it and it looks like this, that is better. So go ahead and do this. Now, as you can see, we have our recommendations and insight right in here. The next thing is for you to actually grab them and bring them over here. So go ahead and close this one now. Now, here comes our insight and recommendation. If you look at it, I did not actually bring in every single insight and recommendations, given to me. I just picked the top two, and that was what you can see right in here. So it depends on what you really want. So this is exactly what you can do to create something as beautiful as this. I believe you love this, and you would love to see more of this. If you're still watching, I just want to say thank you. Please, you too, go to the comment section and just type in thank you, continue, so that I can actually continue the remaining one for you guys. See you in my next videos.